Hello again, Scorpio, and I hope all of you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. So before we begin your reading, I have two cards here for you, and I love what's being pulled here. What it's saying is that your passions are bringing this youthful feeling back to you. So from Le Vampire, you pulled the very first card, Eternal Youth, energy, newness, and vitality. The blessing here says that you are about to be rejuvenated and filled with energy and potential. You will look and feel very well, and your health will be vital. You will be very attractive, and people will be drawn to your youthful free spirit and optimism. And then working with this card talks about exploring the blessings of the body and the mind. And this talks about instigating a transformation and giving in to what you love and making it a larger part of your life. And this is about connecting with new people and loving being alive right now. And then on top of that, you pull passion from chakra wisdom, which I love. I love for Scorpio. The inspiration here says that you are correct to feel passionate about your position. Follow your instincts, for you know intuitively what is right for you. And then the key ideas here are following your passion, being authentic, taking a stand for yourself, being acknowledged. I love it because, again, to me, this is saying that, whatever passions you're involved in right now are bringing this youthful feeling back to you, and it's fantastic. All right, Scorpio, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. Very nice. Very, very nice. Seeing that to me says clarity of thought. You are clear on your passions. You have clear intention here, and there's truthfulness and this feeling of like being just in your passions and what you're going after right now. I love seeing the Ace of Swords. It's good to see that there's clarity of thought through that emotional depth. Because truly, when, Scorpio follows their passions, it's like all or nothing. And it's so deep and it's so intense. And knowing that you have clarity of thought behind that is fantastic. Oh, and in the past. Now, seeing that makes sense to me, considering, the readings that have been going on for Scorpio. The devil being the past coming through is saying that, you may have been chaining yourself to bad patterns. When the devil shows up to me, I automatically think of, that you're in a bad situation, but you choose to continue to stay in it because it may be familiar to you. But truly, it's not bringing you any fulfillment. But again, the power there is that you can release yourself from these things. Whether it's people, situations, limiting thoughts and beliefs, whatever it is that's holding you down, you know what it is, and you know that you can release yourself from it. Now, that being the past coming through to me is saying that, things are starting to change. But man, you are chaining yourself to something that really was no good for you. No good. And in the present, now, seeing the Page of Wands there, I automatically have this feeling of going after something that you may think is bigger than yourself. But again, passion. I mean, that word keeps coming up. You have the passion and the drive to do this. And seeing that to me is like, these are new opportunities to seek new adventures and to follow your passions. But the thing here is there's this heavy feeling of, you may feel like you're not enough for it, but you are. I mean, just the description behind that Page of Wands, going after things that are bigger than yourself. It may feel like it's scary and that you can't do it, but the page is saying you can. And this is definitely something new, very new, especially with Eternal Youth being pulled in the Ace of Swords. This is new. But again, it's about following your passions. Oh, very nice. Very nice. So seeing the Nine of Cups, even with the devil being the past coming through, I feel like that's an acknowledgement of what you were doing to yourself. Because this is like almost outshining that. You have this clarity of thought when it comes to your passions. You know what you want. And when you start to go after that, there's this wish fulfillment going on. In the Nine of Cups too, there's also that little bit of smugness where like, look at what I have. But to me, I see indulgence and abundance and more importantly, emotional fulfillment. And seeing that out of following your passions is good. It's good to see. Very good. Your best path to follow. That to me is saying that you need to continue fighting for your passion. Again, that fire and that passion. The Nine of Wands, again, you're beat up emotionally. And yeah, coming out of that power of the devil, it makes sense. You're beat up. You're ready to continue fighting. The only warning here is that, you have to be open to new messages that are coming through for new opportunities to follow your passion. If you're beat up emotionally, you can't block everything out. You still have to be open to that. But more importantly, you need to continue to fight for your passions. And with passion and chakra wisdom, it says the same thing about needing to take a stand. But, you're clear. You're clear. You have clarity of thought here. You know what you want. It may be new, but when you start to do this, you're going to have that wish fulfillment. But, these two make sense. I mean, being chained to shit that does not serve you, to releasing yourself from it. And now you're like, creating yourself anew. It's like the death has already taken place and now here's this rebirth happening. But again, you got to be careful about being too on guard here. I just feel like that needs to be said, especially with the Ace of Swords sitting there. You can be clear on what you want, all you want, but if you're blocking yourself from following these opportunities, then, what was the point? But again, there's that feeling of, yeah, you were beat up emotionally from this. But again, you need to continue to fight for your passions and what you truly want. Ooh, and in your environment. Man, that damn card just keeps showing up, I swear to God. The Five of Wands speaks about competition. And I feel like here, if you're feeling like this sense of competition, with that being in your environment, I really feel like here, you have to speak up. You can't let, when I look at the devil and I look down here, right, you have this clarity of thought, but here you're beat up emotionally. If you're feeling like, you're being silenced as far as your opinion goes, you can't do that. I mean, you go from releasing yourself to these harmful things to being beat up. And now it's like, even with passion from chakra wisdom, it says the same thing. You need to take a stand here. You need to speak up. And again, with the Five of Wands for me versus the Five of Swords, you come out on top. But with that being in your environment, there's this feeling of, competition and like not being heard, not having your opinion heard or your ideas heard. And it's all surrounding your passion. I mean, if you're clear about what it is that you want, you got to speak about it. You have to say it. You can't just sit there and have that clarity of thought. You need to speak it as well. Speaking your truth, especially when it comes to your passions and what lights your soul up. Because again, it's bringing this youthful feeling to you, and again, I wouldn't worry about what's going on here. You got to take your focus out of that. And maybe in your environment right now, but again, it's like, don't allow yourself to be silenced is what I feel like looking at it. Your hopes and your fears, needing to reevaluate the situation. Whenever I see this Seven of Pentacles, you see the image, there's this harvest, right? And it's time to pick the harvest, right? But for me, looking at it in these situations, it's reevaluating what you have in your life. What can I do to change this? Is this time to take a risk? Or do I continue doing things the same way that I have been? And if you do, what you have been doing has been shitty and it's not serving your purpose. It's like there's something that needs to be looked at here, and I don't feel like you're following any like false passions here, not with the Nine of Cups coming out as future conditions. No, because when you go after your passions, it's going to bring wish fulfillment. But what's happening here is I feel like you're being silenced, and the Ace of Swords and the Five of Wands, the both of them, it's like needing to speak up. But it's like you're looking at the situation like, do I do this or do I not do this? Do I do this? Do I not do this? And with that Ace of Swords, it's saying, if you're clear on it, then you need to act on it. I mean, between these two, yes. And I feel like when the question arises about needing to take a risk when it comes to following your passions, when you see the Nine of Cups as the future conditions, yes, it is time for you to take a risk when it comes to following your passions. Even though you have this feeling of the devil coming through, it's like it's stopping you. There's like, which way are you going here? You have this open door to use that clarity of thought, to follow your passions, to have that wish fulfillment. But man, you're hanging on to some shit, and it's like, do I do this or do I not do this? Do I do it? Do I not? That's just what I feel like looking at this. And especially with the Nine of Wands sitting there as the best path to follow. I mean, between the two, it's like, man, this has influenced you in such a way that it could potentially block what you're doing here. And again, with the Nine of Wands, it's understandable that you're beat up. You're beat the hell up. You've got some scars and you're on guard, but you're willing to continue to fight for your passions. I mean, it's just, are you blocking yourself so much that you're not ready to do it? And the outcome, look at that shit. So you pull through it just fine. It's just that there's a part of you right now that's like, do I do this? Do I not do this? You have that clarity. You know what you want. It's a new opportunity for you to follow your passion. Whatever it is that your passion is important to you here. But I feel like you need to speak about it and stop letting this influence you. If you're going to take a risk, you need to do it. Because that page, again, is saying that this may feel like it's bigger than you, but you can do this. You can do this. It's so frustrating because it's like it's all around you. It is all around you to follow your passion, but there's still that part that's like blocked and questioning it. And you can't do that. The Ace of Swords is saying, what are you doing? You know what you want. You need to do this. And when you do, you're going to have that youthful feeling return to you. Your passions are bringing youth back to you. Instead of being stuck in that same rut of being chained to shit that does not serve you, it's time to take a risk and follow your passions. I mean, it's so clear. It's so clear. And when you do, not only are you going to have wish fulfillment, but you're going to have this security in your life. I mean, that Ace of Pentacles is perfect outcome. This to me says that when you do this and you follow your passion, it is going to create security in your life. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is also about new opportunities for financial gain. But for me, the big thing here is security. But it's like, if you don't take a risk and follow your passions, then it's just like you're being shut down, is what I feel like. Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. With that Seven of Pentacles, yeah. Yep. I feel like looking at this, with that feeling of that seven being there and your hopes and your fears, it's like, yeah, you need to practice some compassion when it comes to yourself and needing to see this differently. I mean, are you truly taking such a huge risk here that you feel like you're going to lose? Because apparently you're not. at all and turn on your heart light. What does wish fulfillment look like to you? I mean, what does it truly look like? It's such a powerful question. What do you really want? What is it that you really truly want? And what does that look like to you? And new love, new passions, new opportunities for love, new opportunities for work and spiritual growth. I love it. I think the messages here are absolutely beautiful. And this to me is fantastic to see, especially out of the last reading. Okay, Scorp, so let's start first with the devil. This being the past coming through and then seeing where it leads to the Five of Wands. It's like, I almost feel like there's a part of you that's wanting to silence your passion. And you need to speak up about it and take a stand for the things that light your soul up. You have new opportunities coming through here to follow your passions and to speak up about them. You know, and again, with that Page of Wands, you have the passion to follow your passions. And I love it. It feels like this is new, and definitely with Eternal Youth, it's very new. It's very new, but it's going to bring this youthful feeling back to you, which is fantastic to see. And again, you know, following your passions, I love it. But you need to be careful here, because I feel like there's a part of you that's like, do I or don't I? Do I or don't I? It's like this back and forth. If you're going to take a risk, it's not going to hurt you. From what I'm seeing here, the death cycle is over with. This is a rebirth. You cannot chain yourself to the past bullshit that has not served you. There's nothing to reevaluate here. It's over and it's done with, because you are releasing yourself from it. And again, you have this clarity of thought, which is fantastic to see, especially when it comes to your passions. You're clear. You know what you want. You know what it is that's important to you. You know what you want to go after here. And you have fantastic opportunities coming through to do it, but I just feel like you need to be careful here. It's almost like this was so much that it left you with this feeling of just being so beat up and needing to be on guard. The warning there again is blocking yourself from the opportunities that are coming through, and you don't want to do that. And I feel like, again, there's like this battle going on. Do I or don't I? You need to do it. Do it. Now, when it comes to, and I love that this card always seems to show up with the Nine of Cups when it comes to turning on your heart light. What does that look like to you? What does that wish fulfillment look like? When you're following your passions, what does it look like? What is it that you truly want? I mean, it's such a powerful question. And I really feel like that once you start to focus on that, this is what will be realized for you. And then when it comes to new love, which, yeah, new love, new passions, and practicing compassion and needing to see things differently, I feel like what you've been through before needs to be looked at differently. Are you going to allow it to continue to block you from new opportunities, or are you going to take that risk and follow your passions? And new love. I like this because to me it speaks volumes of the new opportunities that are coming through. Work opportunities, you know, passions, spiritual work, all these things are going to be new to you, and you may feel like they're bigger than you. But again, if it is your passion, go after it.